Hello and welcome to Matchday Live as Leicester City travel to Newcastle, hoping to continue their unbeaten start under Ruud van Nistelrooy. We're only 2 games in, and it's fair to say there's been plenty of excitement already.
Lamptey onto his left foot, he goes edge of the area, goes for goal, looking for the top corner, and it's a fantastic strike.
1-2 and curls it into that far corner.
Into twisting and turning, into Still with the shot and with the second Brighton goal. It's found a better ball in deep over Reed, edge of the area, his shot deflects on towards Vardy, and there is one back for Leicester City. Goals in back-to-back games for Jamie Vardy. Julio's given it away on the edge of the area. Mavadini works in left, big chance here. Vardy as he cuts it back. And Leicester are all the way back and level right at the last. And it was decored over it. And from 2 goals down, the Foxes are level.
Well, it's certainly an exciting game last time out. What action lies ahead for us today as Leicester head to Newcastle? We've got all the build-up, all the team news on the way for you very shortly. But first, you can see I'm joined by some guests, and I'm delighted to be joined by former Foxes players Matt Elliott and David Nugent. How are we?
All good.
All good?
Good, Lou. Yeah, nice to see you, mate.
Well, that must have excited you on your sick bed last time, Matt.
Yeah.
You weren't with us.
No.
But some game.
Yeah, the way it turned out, not necessarily in the, I don't know, the first 70 minutes or so, it was a little bit, not dull, but from Leicester's point of view, you know, naturally enough, you feared the worst, didn't you? But show that spirit, and which, in fairness, they have shown not just under Ruud van Nistelrooy, they have showed the tenacity and the willingness to hang in there in games throughout the season, the majority of the time. But it really came to the fore, wasn't it? And yeah, it was some occasion right at the end, wasn't it? And Jamie Vardy doing his stuff again as usual. He just won't lay down, will he? He won't lay down.
And you're a brilliant substitute, coming off to the rescue when Matt was ill, David.
He's been used to that.
It was a fantastic response, and it was the character Leicester City showed. Would we have seen that earlier in the season?
We've seen it in spells, haven't we? You know, we see obviously in the Southampton game where they were 2-0 down, come back and won 3-2. But that game again, you've got to give credit to Brighton. Brighton were really good for 70-75 minutes. Leicester just need that one moment to get him into the game, and it was a Jamie Vardy goal. Got a bit lucky with Decadova Reed's cross where it took a deflection into Vardy's path for a great finish, which got the crowd going as well. And then the momentum was with Leicester then, and we managed to nick the ball off the edge of the box by one of their defenders. Ball gets put through again, shows the guile to cut it back to Decadova Reed for a tap, and in the end, them last 10 minutes, he probably deserved the draw.
He's done brilliantly there, Vardy, isn't he? But you'll know that situation, News. You were more selfish, I think, than Jamie Vardy, weren't you?
Definitely not.
Eh?
Definitely not.
Are you sure?
No,
have a Vardy there. He's the main man. He's got a chance to, or half a chance to be the double hero, if you like. But he decides on the safer or the better option.
I think you can see when Dunk dives in as well. He sees it in his head that he's going to dive in, so he just plays the pass behind them just for an easy tapping goal.
I was going to say, it's all about experience there, because a younger striker absolutely
wants to be the hero and get the equaliser. But
you get a little bit excited, wouldn't you? Yeah. And fully justified. Excusable doing that, but it's something he's learned. Isn't it? Like a lot of his game, he's developed it in different areas, and that's just one of them.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that Brighton game very shortly. But first, let's take a look at today's team news, because we do have the lineups for Leicester City and Newcastle this afternoon. So starting with Leicester, and it is 3 changes being made by Ruud van Nistelrooy for the trip to St James's Park. Wilfred Ndidi, Boubakary Soumare and Jordan Ayew all are out. In comes Skip, Chowdhury and Mavididi. So starting with Hermansen in goal, an unchanged backline of Christensen, Vestergaard, Cody and Justin. The holding midfielders of Skip and Chowdhury with Elkanous just ahead of them. Then McAteer and Mavididi on the wings and Jamie Vardy through the middle. Taking a look at that subs bench, you've got Ward, Fass, Okoli, Cordova-Reid, Ayew, Daka, Thomas, Buonanotte and Cartwright. We have Henry Cartwright, an academy lad from Leicester, coming out onto the bench today. We'll talk more about him very shortly. But here's how Newcastle are lining up. They've got 3 changes as well. They lost 4-2 at Brentford last time out, and it is a change in goal with Nick Pope injured. So Dubravka comes in, Longstaff is replaced by Tonali, and Harvey Barnes comes out of the starting 11 to be replaced by Anthony Gordon. So Dubravka in goal, Hall, Byrne, Cher and Livramento across the back, Guimaraes, Joelinton and Tonali in that midfield 3, then Gordon and Murphy on the wings with Alexander Isak through the middle. So, no Harvey Barnes reunion just yet. You might well come on, but we will talk more about him very shortly. But another academy product we'd like to talk about first, Henry Cartwright on the Leicester bench, which is an amazing news. He's been at Leicester since under 9 level. He's being given the chance. What does it mean to a young player when they are given that little bit of an opportunity to experience the first team life?
I think he's probably earned it. He's probably been doing well in the 21s, under 18s, and as Leicester do, they do produce these young players. We've had Jeffrey Schlupp, Liam Moores, Andy Kings, Harvey Barnes, Dewsbury Halls. They're all coming through. You know what I mean? It's just another long list of lads who have come through to play for the first team, and hopefully Cartwright can be the next one.
Yeah, he must make a bit of an impact when you've got a new manager at the club, and it's a matter of weeks later that he's obviously done something to just make Ruud van Nistelrooy take notice. Yeah,
I mean, it may circumstances sort of dictated to a level, haven't they? With the amount of injuries, so there is an opportunity to sort of add players to the squad. But I think it's quite significant in as much as whether it was Henry's time or not now, ordinarily, or because the new manager's there, he's probably made a conscious effort to go. He won't be doing him a favour, he won't do Henry a favour, but he'll be sort of showing to everyone else at the club as well that I'm willing to push the young players and develop them and encourage them, which will give confidence throughout the younger system, if you like. Those players, instead of thinking like, there's a couple of injuries, they'll loan someone in January, whatever. You might think, actually, I've got a chance there as well, and that breeds confidence, and players will improve like that as well, and it bolsters the squad. And yeah, it's good. It's good to see that mentality from the manager. He's not scared to put people in, is he?
How would he be feeling today? You both must have had that situation as a young player, just being given that chance.
Yeah, it's like nervous energy, isn't it? When you come up to the first. I remember my first team game. No, obviously not for Leicester, but it was for Bury when I was younger. I remember coming onto the pitch and my legs were shaking. He's got a great opportunity. If I'm sure if the lads are doing well and winning the game easily, he might get an opportunity. But under circumstances of players being suspended and injured, he's got a chance to be on the bench, and you never know, could get his chance.
It's a test as well mentally for you, because whether he gets a go or not, or minutes on the pitch, which is probably unlikely, but you never know. But then a lot of times you find yourself not getting demoted, but you find yourself out of the squad, and you're back in the 18s and 21s. You think, hang on a minute, but then you've got to keep strong because your chance will come around again.
He is a midfielder, and it is the midfield area that has changed massively for Leicester today. So, of course, we knew Wilfred Ndidi was injured and wouldn't feature. Harry Winks not quite up to fitness yet, and Samare out suspended. There were lots of kind of decisions to be made by Ruud van Nistelrooy, because there were lots of options. So it's Chowdhury and Skip that come into that midfield. Do you think they're the most obvious options?
Yeah. Well, they're the ones that have been on the bench waiting to take their chance, haven't they? Ndidi and Samare have kind of got a partnership going at the minute. Obviously, they're not available today, so it's a whole totally different new midfield. Oliver Skip's a new signing. Wants to play, wants to prove his point that he's good enough to play for the club. Hamza's been here forever. An academy product. Come from there, and there's going to be a lot of that midfield battle now with their three. Newcastle's 3 and a half. It's going to be a great battle, and Hamza's got the fight for it.
Yeah, it's a difficult one for Hamza Chowdhury, because he has been in and out a bit over several seasons really at Leicester City, but he does always seem to be able to get going straight away. There's no kind of warming up period for him.
Yeah, he's pretty reliable, Hamza, isn't he? Quite versatile as well, which can work as you see in Hamza's case, can work for you or against you in some respects. But yeah, no, he's always happy to do a job, isn't he? But I suppose, you talk about Oliver Skipp coming in, sizable fee, 20-odd million, was it? He's going to be frustrated because he hasn't done a lot wrong, hasn't got many games. So, as Dave mentions, he's got a point to prove. But Hamza, what's Hamza now? 26, something like that. He want to be trying to cement himself as best he can a more regular spot. I don't think he's happy just to be filling in gaps here and there. He'll do a job for you, but any player wants to become more of a regular, and hopefully we'll see that in his performance today.
Skipp will come in with quite a bit of confidence. It was an excellent pass to get Leicester going for the goal against Brighton last week. A real turn of play, breaking the lines. And sometimes you need a little moment like that to hang on to before you next take to the field.
Yeah. When you come in as a sub, you want to try and make an impact. Skipp's played that pass. And Ruud's obviously seen that. I know, again, we're talking about suspension injuries, but he's next in line to come in, and that will give him the confidence boost to go into this game and try and do more passes like that. He's not a bad player. He's played for Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League multiple times. So he's come here to play football. He's had a bit of a stop-start to his career here, but I'm sure if you get to run a games, you'll see the real Oliver Skipp.
He'll be frustrated because he's not a gap filler.
No,
like I said, it's a sizable fee. I remember early in the season, he was exceptional against Crystal Palace. And then, somewhat bizarrely, he found himself not in the lineup the next game. Obviously done wrong, sort of thing, but competition for places, I suppose. But yeah, he'll be looking to really make an impression because he's certainly capable of it.
What do you think of Newcastle's team? It's not bad when you can bring Tonali and Gordon into your starting lineup.
Yeah, they're multi-million-pound signings, aren't they? Internationals. Italian international, England international. It's going to be a tough day. Newcastle are a strong outfit in this Premier League. Not having the best of seasons, but still at St James's Park, it's not an easy place to go and pick up a result. And I think we've got to dig deep again. We've got to show that courage that we showed in the last 10 minutes, what we've shown we can do, and hopefully we can come out with a positive result.
Yeah, it's a big ask, and they're high energy, aren't they? At St James's Park, you saw them not so long ago against Liverpool, and they ran them extremely close, didn't they? Quality throughout, as you mentioned. And when you look at the team, there's some players there that are on the bench that I'd almost not forgotten about, but I thought they might have even departed the club, gone elsewhere, but they're still there, and they're quality players. But you don't hear about them that often because they can't get in because the first 11 is pretty strong. But yeah, it's going to be. I think that's part of Ruud van Nistelrooy's perhaps thinking in his team selection, Buonanotte being on the bench. A lot of people think, well, he's one of, if not the most creative player they've got. But I think he's perhaps looking at the high energy style that Newcastle have and trying to combat that.
Yeah, just a word on Harvey Barnes then. He'll be gutted not to be playing against Leicester. Leicester fans probably delighted that he's not in the lineup. Okay, going to have to deal with Anthony Gordon instead. But just a word on what he achieved at Leicester City. A bit like, obviously, we're talking today about Henry Cartwright coming through the ranks. It's exactly what Harvey Barnes did here.
Yeah, Harvey from a relatively young age, I was fortunate enough to be involved at the club part-time, coaching in the academy. And there was a whole batch from that year. It was Hamza Chowdhury coming through, Ben Chilwell, I think, was a year older, Keenan Juzul, I think, was a year or two younger. But there was a whole group of them. They were excellent, that age group. But Harvey was always the one that people were more assured that he was going to go on and have a proper career football-wise. And so it's proved to be the case. I actually, when I watch him, when I see what he's capable of, I always used to think, and I still do now, he's capable of even more. It's just like providing the regularity of the levels. But he's on his day. On his day, he's scintillating, isn't he?
We had a spell in the Newcastle team, didn't he, when he was scoring goals, didn't he, this season?
Yeah.
And he just got taken out. Now he's kind of more of an impact.
Injuries,
but he comes on and does well, scores a goal, and you expect him to start the next game. He's back on the bench. So for him, it must be frustrating as well. But he's at a fantastic club, playing for a fantastic team, and he's got to play week in, week out to improve and as a player.
Yeah. I just feel like there is more in there for him, depending on the level of fullback he's up against. I think sometimes he fancies it, and other times you think he's a bit more reserved against some of the top level players. But we'll see. We won't see how he goes until later on.
You'd think you'd have him ahead of Murphy, though, wouldn't you, in the team?
Yeah.
But obviously Eddie Howe sees something different.
You're not Eddie Howe.
No, exactly not.
Still to come, we'll hear from Ruud van Nistelrooy ahead of today's game. We'll look at the goal of the month contenders as well. But right now, let's take a look back at last weekend's highlights against Brighton.
On the Brighton left, being chased down by McAteer. There's the delivery towards the back post over everyone, but picked up by Tariq Lamptey. Onto his left foot, he goes edge of the area, goes for goal, looking for the top corner, and it's a fantastic strike from the fullback. Absolutely no chance for Mads Hermansen. And as soon as it left the left boot of the Brighton number 2, we could see it flying in towards that top corner. This is a chance because Christensen can't quite get there initially. Minter twisting and turning. Christensen trying to get a foot in. Minter still with the shot and with the second Brighton goal. And that will finish off Leicester City. One long ball in behind. Minter doing the rest. Twisting, turning, striking and then scoring. And with 10 minutes to go, it's Leicester 0, Brighton 2. Skip has the option right with James Justin, but he's found a better ball in Cordova-Reid, edge of the area. His shot deflects on towards Vardy, and there is one back for Leicester City. Goals in back-to-back games for Jamie Vardy. The effort into the bottom corner, no chance for Verbruggen, and with 4 minutes left, it's game on again.
Yeah, well, that's the spark that Leicester City needed, but is it too little, too late?
Of the second half. As Julio's given it away on the edge of the area, Mavididi works it left, big chance here, Vardy as he cuts it back! And Leicester are all the way back and level right at the last. And it was Cordova-Reid with the easy job, just to side foot it home. And from 2 goals down, the Foxes are level.
It gets better every time you watch it. That presence of mind. Obviously, I know, David, you're so close to Jamie. That's just what he's done over his career, built that knowledge and just knowing where the better option is.
Yeah, especially with the first opportunity he gets, with Cordova-Reid's cross. If he's not standing in that position, he doesn't get the ball, even with the deflection. It's just the right place, the right time for the left foot finish into the bottom corner to get us into the game. And the second goal, to show the awareness, to see Dunk sliding in, just to put the ball behind him, for his teammate to equalise, just shows how much his game has improved.
It's also, you talk about the first goal, that's a difficult finish. That's not an easy one.
No, it's like weaker foot on the half volley. He's on the move, the ball's sort of coming over his right shoulder, and it's coming unexpectedly as well. It's not like he was asking for that ball and waiting to pounce.
That was no deflection.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't get it.
No.
He's just there in the right place.
Yeah. Yeah, when you hover in the right areas and you make your own luck, don't you? But then the way he just tucked it away, it was almost like nonchalant, wasn't it? But it was more difficult than it looked.
Jamie Vardy would be delighted about us talking about his age, but we're going to. 37 years and 332 days.
About him.
Became the second oldest player in the Premier League to score an assist in a single game. Ryan Giggs is first on that list. What keeps Jamie Vardy going at this level and at this intensity?
It's just hunger, I think. Obviously, he's been at the club for 10 plus years now, hasn't he? The love for the club. He's still playing week in, week out. He's still the number 9. He's still everyone's hero at the club. They've been trying to replace him for so many years with strikers coming in, but you can't replace with Jamie Vardy until he leaves the club. As long as he's here, he's going to be the main man. I think that's why he's staying so long, because he can still do it. We've seen he can still do it.
I read earlier this week that actually he just looks like he's got a new lease of life again.
Yeah, he is incredible. I mean, everything that could be said has been said about Jamie Vardy, but he's just, he defies logic really in a lot of ways, because, like you say, having that hunger to keep going and going is, I don't know, there's been a couple of periods where you thought, okay, maybe that his time will be up not too far away. And he's kicked on again and then again and again. It's amazing how he's done it. And like I say, he's not even like a stopgap now. He's not. Yes, he's in previous seasons or recent times he has played less regularly, and they still sort of manage him to a degree. But he's starting every game pretty much, isn't he, lately? He's needed. He's needed because without him, that's why it's big that Daka's back in the equation. I think over the course of the season, that would be quite a big factor. I know Daka is not up to Vardy's level, or doesn't have the impact, but he is an option, and that will help everyone all round. But yeah, Jamie just keeps defying the critics, doesn't he?
Well, when he hears people like us talking about his age, does he just laugh?
Don't think it bothers him. Nothing bothers him, does it? You know, you see him in the tunnel, just walking around.
I think he'll enjoy that.
The fact that he's kind of Red Bull in his hand.
Yeah, yeah. The fact that he's defying logic or confounding not critics but like commentators. They take pride in that, I think, really, and that will spur him on to keep going.
He loves it on the pitch as well. When the fans are giving him stuff, if he scores, you know he's going to go straight over to them, wind them back up. So as long as he's still playing, the better, I think.
He's even got his post-VAR celebration sorted, as we saw against West Ham. Just
he's
waiting for the right moment.
Waiting for the right moment to go back over to them. But
there it is. Yeah. Just the last one.
He actually contained himself a little bit there, didn't he? I think he was thinking, I'm only going to go so far. Might get in trouble.
That one will do for now. Just the last point on the Brighton game. We talked about Newcastle's intensity, and that might well have come into the selection for Van Nistelrooy today. But as we saw against Brighton, Leicester have that same level of intensity. When they want to push, when they want to press high, they can.
Well, they had to against Brighton, didn't they? They were 2-0 down. You know, Rube made a lot of substitutions to get us back into the game, and threw Daka on, threw Mavididi on, threw Decadova Reid on. You know, we threw every striker he had on the pitch to try and get something out of the game, but at first it wasn't working, but just that one spark we needed to get into the game, and it just gets the crowd up, gets everyone going, and you can see the high intensity then. You just need to see a bit more of that in patches and maybe in the early parts of the game. Try and nick a goal, you know, try and get their fans on their back. Bit of change.
Yeah, those changes though, they won't work every time, but there are options, like you say. There's numerous options there to sort of change the pattern of the game. But I suppose the key is, like you hinted at, David, is try and get more control in earlier periods of the game. But Leicester are not at that stage yet where they can go and dominate games. They've got to make the most of the moments that come their way.
Well, it's the 3 o'clock kickoff at St James's Park. It will be John Dunn and Jerry Taggart on commentary. We will catch up with Tags very, very shortly, see what he's moaning about today up at St James's Park, whether the food's not good enough or he's just a little bit cold. He will tell us all about that very, very soon. But before that, let's have a little look at the Goal of the Month contenders.
Left-hand channel. It's a first-time delivery. Monga is there, and he gets the fortune. This is Monga. Oh, it's brilliant. Absolutely outstanding from Jeremy Monga. Leicester making something seemingly out of nothing. Well played. Villa slightly unfortunate with the way that the ball bounced favourably for Jeremy Monga, but he made the most of it. Neat footwork and then an angled finish. They're on the move again here with Evans. Here is the goal scorer, Monga. Full of confidence. He's kept it in. Oh, it's sensational. Second for Leicester. And a good start has turned into a great one. Well, Louis Page has probably been Leicester's best performer in the opening 12 or so minutes. But Jeremy Monga dazzling his way through once again. And Leicester double their lead in the early stages.
He goes over, no free kick, definitely, that was soft. And then Soumare bounces off of Wes Burns. It's all happening at Portman Road. He's played it to Jordan Ayew. Ayew into Vardy. Back to Ayew, scores! Leicester have done it late on the road. Jordan Ayew sweeps home. What a move! And he sends the away fans delirious. In the 94th minute. It is Ipswich 1, Leicester 1. It's Jordan Ayew, the hero, away from home again.
Once again, is able to bring it down and try and take on his man. Gets the ball into the box. There's Keane, and it's 2-2. They found the equaliser, Leicester City, in the dying embers. Once again, again, Jake Evans involved.
Here's Ayew in a little pocket of space inside the Brentford penalty area, tries to slip it through to Jamie Vardy, who's done well to get past Pinnock. Vardy with the pullback, and there's Buonanotte! Chucks it home and into an empty goal to give Leicester City the lead. It was trademark Jamie Vardy. Yeah, it looked a lost cause, but he just kept piling on the pressure. He was determined, tenacious, just wouldn't give up on it, and it forced the mistake. And it was a simple pass to Buonanotte, who adds another to his collection of goals this season.
There we go. There's the list to choose from. Any taking your fancy, gents?
Goals at a premium this month.
The young kid Munger's first. That was a good one. The first one.
Yeah.
And then I like the Ayew goal as well against Ipswich. Nice little 1-2 with Vards. And the last minute goal again. Just makes you want to run on the pitch, doesn't it? And celebrate. One of them ones.
Matty, any?
Yeah, I think by some distance, really. It was quality all round, wasn't it? Soumare initially won the ball back, strong run forward, slips it inside, good control from Ayew on the run, lovely layoff from Jamie Vardy, and neat finish. So plenty to applaud in that goal, really. I think there wasn't much competition, really, was there? Other than that.
As you say, there were a couple of the academy goals there. Jeremy Monga, Louis Page.
Yeah.
We saw there. Interesting fact about today's game: the 4 academy graduates in the squad today all started with Leicester City at under 9 level. 3 from Leicester, and then Casey McAteer from Northampton. So Hamza Chowdhury, Casey McAteer, Cartwright and Thomas. It's just a great club for breeding young talent.
Yeah, and they've all been given a chance as well, haven't they? You know, Hamza's played, Luke Thomas has played in the first team. So they're going to get a chance eventually or not if they stay at Leicester. So Hamza's the prime example. Keep trying hard, you get the opportunity. Make your way into the first team, try and keep it. You get your chance.
Well, Leicester's just at the right level of club for youngsters to come through, because it's difficult, very difficult at the elite clubs, the Liverpools and the Man Cities. We see how
very
rare it is for players to come through. You're talking Phil Foden level, aren't you? But at Leicester, you have that opportunity as well, because the level that they're playing at, and it's encouraged. And also, I think that's where the training ground comes in to play a little bit, I think, because it's well renowned as a Category 1 club, academy anyway, but with that facility on top that's developed it, I think it's building the reputation. I think down the line that's where it will benefit the club, because young players these days, they come from far and wide, not even just nationally, internationally. And they'll be attracted to the facilities that Leicester have there, and hopefully that'll bear fruit down the line.
Let's talk about Casey McAteer for a moment, because I want to come on to mentality. And if you've been on the Leicester City socials this week, you might have seen a lovely video of Casey going to visit a supporter at home. It was young Ryan. They played FIFA together, and it was all a massive Christmas surprise. But there's a humble nature to Casey McAteer, and that is something, I guess, when you're coming into football, you know about the riches of football, but you need to stay grounded.
Yeah, exactly that. We were all brought up on council estates. Well, I was anyway, back in Liverpool, and
dragged up.
Yeah, dragged up. Yeah. So but obviously when you become a footballer, you can't get too high quickly. You got to remember where you came from, and doing the hospital visits at Christmas time, going to see poorly kids in the hospital. It's not nice, but you got to show your appreciation and go there, give them the support that they need. Like Casey has gone around to some kids' house to play FIFA with them, and that would have made his Christmas. And it's a perfect opportunity for the players to go and show their gratitude to the people who are not well, and show them what they could have had, but they've not got the privilege to have it.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of a general misconception about the character of professionals, footballers, sports people. Generally, the majority of them are just everyday, down-to-earth lads who are happy to give their time or anything they can for other people, and appreciate how fortunate they are. But they've worked hard to be that lucky. But excuse me, sorry, got a bit of the old coughs as well. But and in most cases, I would say even the lads that forget themselves a little bit, because even then it's not sort of intentional the majority of the time. They just get carried away by it subconsciously a little bit. They soon get brought back down by teammates and other people around there. So, and things like that with Casey. Casey, you can see it's naturally in him, but that's part of their development in the academies. They'll be encouraged to be like that now. Like they're media trained to a level. They're aware of society and what's expected. Perhaps many years ago, people just left to their own devices, and you get a few cases where things don't go right. But these days, they're all aware of their responsibilities. And
just a word on McAteer's form, because he's another player, I guess, a bit like Hamza Chowdhury, especially last season. At the start of the season, found himself very much in the team. Then it was fits and starts throughout. But now under Ruud van Nistelrooy, he's straight back in there again.
It's like new manager, isn't it?
Yeah.
Get new opportunities, and he's took it with both hands. Casey, he's a ball carrier. He gets you up the pitch really quickly, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's just that he needs to work on that little final ball at the end. He gets in positions where you think, go on, be positive, have a shot, or get a crossing. Just seems to lack that little bit of cutting edge at the very end. But as a player, to get you off the pitch, he'll run back and defend for you as well.
He's got a lot of attributes, Casey, and he's good at a lot of things. Just needs to become like really, really good at one or two, and then you'll see him progress like that. But again, it's a good example though with Casey, one of the young players coming through, but also how disciplined you have to be. You can't rest on your laurels. I'm not saying he has, but you have to keep striving and striving, because otherwise things happen around you and you find yourself out of the picture. So just staying in the team, never mind becoming a superstar or anything, just getting in that team regularly is a big issue, and Casey's seen that, but he's got the opportunity and he's shown a bit of form of late.
We'll see what he can do this afternoon at St James's Park. Well, someone who is an absolute mainstay for us here on Matchday Live, we just haven't got a sub. Gerry Taggart is at St James's Park. He'll be alongside John Dunn this afternoon. It's the 3 o'clock kickoff with full commentary. Tags, how are you?
You mean you haven't got a sub that's good enough? I'm very well, thank you, chaps. Nice to be listening to you, especially you, Big Matty. I was beginning to worry. But thankfully,
back in the game, son. Back in the game.
You're back in the game. You've pulled yourself out of the quagmire.
How's St James's Park on this Saturday afternoon, Tags?
Not too bad. No hat on yet. No gloves on yet. So yeah, I'm coping quite well with the cold but not freezing weather.
And how are you thinking Leicester City are going to get on? Of course, all the drama at the end of that Brighton game, unbeaten under Ruud van Nistelrooy so far. Can they keep it going?
Yeah, I think, obviously losing Ndidi and Samari in the middle of the pitch, which helped with the solidity of the team at the back, is a big miss. But Newcastle, no winning 4 for them, and they'll be under a bit of pressure today to beat Leicester, basically. Even though there's not that many points or places between the two teams, there's a lot of expectation around here. So Eddie Howe, I think, under a bit of pressure somewhat. So yeah, it could be a difficult game for both teams today. But Leicester have to try and stay solid, try and keep that back line solid, and utilise on the counter attack. Some of the players you've just been talking about, i.e. Casey McAteer, Mavididi, and obviously Jamie Vardy.
How do you feel about what Gerry's just said about pressure on Newcastle? So a Brentford defeat last weekend, 4-2. We saw how hard it was a couple of weeks ago for Leicester to go to Brentford. Before that, it was a 3-3 draw against Liverpool, the Premier League leaders. Before that, it was Crystal Palace, who we know are no mugs. A West Ham defeat, okay, they may well have expected to win that. Before that, they beat Arsenal and Bournemouth. Arsenal and Nottingham Forest, sorry.
Yeah.
Is pressure a bit of a
pick a mix a bit, isn't it? But yeah, no, it's but what are they? They're 12th in the league, aren't they? Like, that's too low for their expectations. So yeah, I think there is a little bit of pressure as well, especially with for the club, for the players themselves, but the manager as well, because expectations and subsequently like standards are very high these days, and I don't know. There's a lot of investment despite the restrictions. I don't know. It's a funny one, isn't it? It sort of tests the character of the players. It's a little bit worrying when your players when they're that good at home. Generally, other than the West Ham game, and then they're poor away from home. You know, like, why do you need those supporters just to perform? That quality of player should be able to perform wherever, really. But
I think they've overachieved though in previous seasons, and then the expectations just got a bit too much.
To a level, but there's some good players in that team.
And they're only 6 points off the top 6 still.
Yeah,
so
if you look at it that way.
It's cramped in the middle of the the table.
Is Jerry still with us?
Yeah, I hope so.
Are you with us, Tags?
I am, yes. I'm still here.
Yeah. I just want to ask you, mate. We were talking about Casey playing, Casey McAteer, MATCHDAY, and the omission of Buonanotte.
Yes.
How do you see the thinking of that in terms of like Ruud van Nistelrooy's decision in the lineup?
Good question, Matt. To be honest, I can see why Casey's in the team, because he's got legs, he works hard in both directions. And to be fair to Buonanotte, you know, I love his attitude without the ball just as much as I love it with it. So you'd have to ask Ruud why he's not starting today. But I think, you know, MATCHDAY probably deserves it, because when he's come on as a sub, he's affected the game in a positive way every time he's come off the bench. So maybe it's his turn today. But yeah, you know, there is a you know, an argument that Buonanotte should be starting without a doubt. So
I suppose you're thinking, get as stronger legs out there as possible for the early stages of the game, Tags, isn't it? And then
exactly, it'll be, you know, you're splitting hairs, aren't you, on the decision not to play Buonanotte over MATCHDAY or Casey McAteer. You know, any two from them three could quite easily have started there. I can see why, as I said, I can see why Casey starts, because of his legs up and down the pitch, with and without the ball. And you're splitting hairs over the other two for me. So, and it may be based on a minute decision or advantage that one player has over another player, and it might be splitting hairs on that decision.
time will tell, son. Time will tell.
Absolutely.
There we go. Jerry Taggart in position at St James's Park, and he'll be alongside John Dunn for full commentary from 3 o'clock. We're just over 20 minutes away from kick-off. We will get all your team news for you, a little recap of that very, very shortly. But first, let's hear from Leicester City manager Ruud van Nistelrooy. He's been asked what he's made of Newcastle's season so far.
Of course, I looked at Newcastle's squad and their, we know how strong they are and can be at St James's Park. We look at the individual qualities, and I don't think we focus so much on where they are in the league, but more the potential that they can be. And we have to be prepared for that. And in that sense, it's a great squad. You know, they have a lot of options to start and coming off the bench. So we have to be spot on, I think, to get a good game on Saturday.
Where do you see the main threat?
It's clear. It's clear with the potential of players they have. If you look at their offensive threat with Isaac, of course, with Gordon, midfield power they have with Joe Linton, with Guimaraes, with Longstaff, with other options to come in from the wings. Almiron is always one to watch, of course, with disability. So they've got many options and quality to bring, and I think it's good for us to, as I said, you know, against such a good opposition to continue to grow ourselves.
What really do you want to see from your team in your first away game?
Yeah, the progress over the last 2 home games and the results, the confidence. I want us to take that into this game, and especially the development in certain areas that we've been working on to make the next step in that, because I think in the end the progress of the individual and the team will get you the most chance of winning points. So I believe in the next step that we can make and have to make on Saturday.
What is the key to performing in a stadium like that, in an atmosphere like that as a player?
Yeah, well, I think in the Premier League, you know, when you're going to play away, that's going to be difficult. The ambience and the atmosphere in stadiums is special. St James's, we know what it can be about, what it can be like. we have experienced enough players that know that. They will tell the younger players what it's like, and of course it can ignite over there with a tackle or with a good action or a bad one from us. The stadium can ignite, and it's important to keep that in mind.
There we go, Leicester boss Ruud van Nistelrooy ahead of today's trip to St James's Park, and he certainly says that is a stadium where that fan base get behind their team. What are your memories of playing St James's Park, David?
Not very good ones. Yeah, I don't think I ever won it. I won there once with Portsmouth. I think we won 3-0. Sully Montari scored a hat-trick, I think. But yeah, it's an unbelievable stadium to play at. When their fans generate an atmosphere and get behind them, it's a very hard place to play in and get a result. I remember going there last year. Leicester went there in the League Cup quarter-final.
Yeah.
Got absolutely battered. But, you know, quarter-final, you think, we got a chance here. Newcastle just turned us over. 2-0 first half, and the game was pretty much over. So, you know, it's a tough place to go, but as we say, they're not in the best of form. So today could be a chance where we can go there, upset their fans a little bit, try and nick a result maybe.
How about you, Matt?
Yeah, I've got pretty similar memories, really. I think it was about my third game for Leicester. I went up there and had the temerity to score, and we were 3-1 up. Clary scored, Esky, 3-1 up at half time. There we go.
Goal, lovely.
There you go.
Look at that.
Les Ferdinand didn't know what he was doing there. But then, a certain Alan Shearer, second half, I think he got a 25-minute hat-trick. I got scored twice up Newcastle, didn't I? Yeah. There we go. But
he's going with the semi-Shearer celebration as well. There's the arm in the air.
It's like your twin.
I know, Spencer Pryor, that wasn't it? Clunk and dunk. But yeah, I can't remember which game was which. I think it was the first goal that we scored.
You didn't get a third,
that
did
one.
you?
That I scored.
Oh yeah, we saw that one.
That's the first one, isn't it?
Yeah.
That Shearer went on, banged hat-trick out of nowhere. But my point was going to be, when you take the lead, it goes like definitely silence, because they're like flabbergasted. They're taken back by it, and they're so demoralised because they're like, oh no, the Toon are losing, and you think, right, we've got the upper hand, but all they need is one tiny little spark, and it erupts again, and then you're right under the cosh. So their players pick up on it, and anything's possible. So you have to ride the storms at times, because you're not going to keep it calm and collected for 90 minutes plus.
There's going to be spells where Newcastle will be on top. You just got to ride it.
You were talking about Ruud van Nistelrooy as well, just saying how much of a handful he was as a player.
Oh, he's a proper player, yeah.
What have you made of his start as manager? The way he carries himself and the way he seems to be inspiring this Leicester side.
Talk about being, a proper player, for want of a better phrase. He seems to be matching that in his coaching capacity as well. And his management, I would say, as well. It doesn't seem to me like he's purely a coach. He knows the mentality of players and what he expects from them, and he manages that side of things as well. But yeah, it's nothing but, without getting carried away, because his name is big profile, and he was a wonderful player, and he's got a bit about him, hasn't he? Without a doubt, he looks the part, and he's playing the part as well now. But all the signs are positive, isn't it? There's more, regardless of what you thought of the previous situation, there's definitely more purpose and more belief and more confidence in Leicester going forward with him at the helm.
You can see the celebrations with the fans. He gets involved, doesn't he, as well, when they score. The celebrations, the equaliser against Brighton. Yeah. He's walking down the touchline as if they're going to score. And obviously what you do when he goes and high-fives some people in the crowd, gives them a big hug.
Yeah.
The fans love to see that as well.
Yeah.
He carries himself really well,
involved.
Doesn't
he? Yeah.
And his rolling neck.
Yeah, but he seems, I haven't been introduced to him or anything, but I mean, he seems very personable to people, and takes time with people, and that, has a knock-on effect as well.
I know some people's thoughts were, when Ruud van Nistelrooy's name was mentioned, it was, has he done enough in management to take over at Leicester City? Well, he's actually unbeaten in 22 games.
Yeah.
In his last 22 games as a manager. So that's obviously with Leicester, his spell as Man United interim boss, and then with PSV.
Yeah. PSV are no small fry, are they? No. I mean, I know it's Eredivisie, which is, I don't know, not frowned upon, but it's considered, of a level below the elite, shall we say. But now with his experience and, in the likes of, okay, maybe he hasn't had the coaching background maybe of Arteta, but Arteta gone straight into the Arsenal job as such. I know he's done bits elsewhere, and I think Van Nistelrooy is just experienced in the game generally, isn't he? Enough to go and be successful at quite a relatively early stage.
Well, let's have a little recap of the team that Ruud van Nistelrooy has picked for today's game at Newcastle. It is 3 changes from the side that drew with Brighton last weekend. So Ndidi, Soumaré and Ayew are out. Skip, Chowdhury and Mabadidi come in. So Hermansen in goal, Christensen, Vestergaard, Cody and Justin along that back line. Skip and Chowdhury, who assumes to be those holding midfielders with El Khanous just ahead. Mabadidi and McAteer on the wings with Jamie Vardy through the middle. It's 3 changes as well for Newcastle. So Nick Pope is injured, so there's a change in goal from Eddie Howe with Dubravka coming in. Also Tonali replaces Longstaff and Gordon comes in for Harvey Barnes. So Dubravka in goal, Hall, Byrne, Cher and Livramento in defence. Guimaraes, Joe Linton and Tonali assumed to be that midfield trio. Then with Murphy and Gordon on the wings, supporting Alexander Isak in attack. Just wanted to talk about the defence of Leicester City, because Ruud van Nistelrooy seems to have actually really picked his 4 at the back. He's been pretty solid in who he's going with so far.
Yeah, you got James Justin, Connor Cody, Vestergaard, Christensen. You know, I think Vestergaard's probably the best player we've got on the ball in terms of with his feet. Cody's there for his leadership skills, which works really well. His talk and communication on the pitch. You know, obviously the 2. Obviously, JJ fullback, right fullback. He's been playing a lot of left fullback, and Christian bumps up and down the left as well. So I think it's about you have a settle back 4. You know, I think they're the ones that you can't keep swapping and changing. You need to get a settle back 4, get them settled as a team, as a unit, and let them play every game and get them to understand each other's games.
I think the concern with the 2 centre halves is, understandably enough, you know, they're not getting any younger, shall we say. Neither have ever been the quickest, so you're worried about mobility as a pair. But if you work solidly as a pair properly, you don't allow too many gaps there. And obviously, if you're getting insurance from the full-backs as well, but they seem to have, they're the most experienced pairing, and they seem to have an understanding there. You know, they've been professional footballers at top level. Like, Vestergaard especially has played in the Premier League for what, I don't know, over a decade. So he knows what he's doing. He can get exposed at times, and so can Cody, but any of those shortcomings they get away with a little bit because they can read the game and work as a pair stroke unit. And I think you're seeing that. You know, the manager's got confidence in their experience as well. Although I don't think they've been tested up to now by an elite centre forward or a top level centre forward. They're up against one today, so we'll see how they fare in that.
Christensen was tested with Jarrod Bowen the other week, and early on in that game it seemed like it could be a long evening, but he did seem to get to grips with Bowen fairly quickly in that game.
He's dogged, isn't he? Determined.
And did a really good job. He seems to have grown as a player.
He has, yeah, because again he's had a stop-start again in his career at Leicester. You know, obviously first season. Second season goes on loan, third season, you know, comes back into the Premier League, gets a chance again. And you just need games. You know, we want to see the real, you know, Christensen week in, week out. And I think we're starting to see that under Ruud. You know, he's been given an opportunity, new manager again, new lease of life. He's thought, I'm going to give this a go. And we're seeing the best of them now.
Let's have a little prediction then. How do you feel today's going to go, Matty?
Well, we're going to scores.
You can go for scores, because we would like to hold things against people.
No, I mean, you would envisage Newcastle starting strongly and being at home and the style of play that they go forward with and supporters behind them. So we mentioned about, you know, the storms to be weathered for Leicester, I think. But if they can do that, stay composed, and expectations, you don't want to limit them, but they can't maybe be too high there. You know, just stay in the game and seize on their moments as and when they come. And Buonanotte comes on 78 minutes and Nick's a winner.
So you're saying 1-0?
Oh, I said Nick's a winner. I didn't say this.
Okay. I'm going to go. I'm going to go 1-1.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Leicester score. They're going to hold on for dear life. Then Newcastle does nick 1. I'm going to go 1-1.
Right, you're going the other way around. Yeah.
As you said, Matty, earlier, time will tell.
Yeah.
And
You're not pinning me down on the score.
In terms of time, we are out of it on the preview. That means kickoff is approaching. It's just 10 minutes away at St James's Park, and we have got commentary on the way with John Dunn and Jerry Taggart, who will be talking you through the game, and then we will have all the reaction here on Matchday Live. Enjoy the match. Come on, you foot.